Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PCMag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PCMag labs. I am Sasha Segan, this is Victoria Song. I was trying to decide, are we going to lay something heavy on them today or will it be a lighthearted show?
Oh, I never do anything heavy. We're super lighthearted here.
Right. And the reason I'm making those awful dad jokes is because
our
product is,
I get it now.
Took a minute. Our product is not coffee, which clearly we all need.
Yeah.
It is the Eufy BodySense Smart Scale.
Yes, it is a scale that is not dumb. It is scale.
Okay.
Smart.
And what is, before we go into like the many features of the Eufy Smart Scale, what is the killer feature of the Eufy Smart Scale?
The killer feature? Well,
Yes.
Actually what I really like about the Smart Scale is that it measures a wide number of metrics, and it does it with context. So, like on my beat, I get a lot of data about myself. I know a lot about myself in numbers, but all those numbers don't mean anything without context. So what I really like about the Eufy scale is that not only is it $40 for a Smart Scale,
That's
which is
the killer feature.
that's super killer for all the things that I mentioned, you also get really great data context. And that's something that like I try and talk about in my reviews.
So it's inexpensive, but not cheap.
Yes.
Aha.
Ah, there we go. We're having some wordplay for someone who just did a 45-minute Peloton exercise and no bean juice, as in coffee.
You are so quantified.
I am the most
say.
quantified person in this office. It's like kind of scary.
So let's learn about what the BodySense Smart Scale does get you in terms of information. What is it collecting? What is it collecting it in? And how does that data interact with any other data you might have?
So when you use this scale, you're gonna use it with the Eufy Life app. You're gonna set up the scale via Bluetooth, so not Wi-Fi, just Bluetooth. And then, what it collects is 12 metrics, and I'm not gonna let you see my weight, but you get to see.
Do you want me to get on it so that
Let's
show my weight?
We can do that. So how we do that is that I'm gonna add you as a family member.
Okay.
So like there's me. There's my roommate Mike. There's my best friend Amy.
I can be your bro.
You can be my bro.
Okay.
You could be one of my many work dads.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Name. Let's say Sasha, because that is your name.
Yes.
And then you're a male.
I'm male.
Your birthday is required.
Right. And we're not going to tell the internet what my birthday is because then they would get a mortgage in my name. There we go.
And then some other personal information like height and.
We've got height, we've got weight, confirm, save. There we go.
All right, so now you are saved as a member of my family. I'm going to switch the family member to you. Okay, so you're gonna step onto the scale barefoot.
Okay.
So you cannot have socks on.
I'm not wearing socks.
So the reason why they want you to step onto it barefoot is
Taking off my jacket.
okay, cool beans. We're getting real personal on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so step onto it.
Are we gonna bet on how much he weighs?
That is very wrong. I am not 83 pounds.
That might be because it's on a carpet.
So we need a harder surface.
We need probably do a harder surface.
Okay, we can do that.
So that's a thing that happens with any type of scale that you're going to use. It's not just, I guess this is the.
Should I come over here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna come over here.
I was about to say you.
So it doesn't need to be calibrated or anything?
No.
You don't need to zero it out?
No.
Okay.
You just step on it.
I'm on it. Oh yeah.
Yep.
That is my correct weight.
Okay.
I am 137.7 pounds. Okay, so I have this data.
Yeah.
And now what other data did it just collect on me?
So what it collected on you was your weight,
Uh-huh.
your BMI. And so like this is what I like about it. So for your height and your age, it's telling you where you fall within a range. So you
nice.
are within a normal range. It'll
normal,
tell you if you're excessive or high or low and give you benchmarks of where you might want to go for that.
Okay.
It'll tell you your body fat, and if you hit
Normal.
more, it'll tell more, and then give you a sort of context for what that particular measurement means. It'll give you your BMI, water, muscle, bone, BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate.
And now tell me about this, like, water, muscle, bone. Why do I need to know what percentage of me is bone?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to track. So like, let's say you're a woman of a certain age and you want to know what your bone mass is because you're concerned about osteoporosis, or depending on what health conditions you might have. Like, I thought that visceral fat and BMR were really interesting metrics to include, and it's not metrics that we see a lot in different SMART scales, because, you know, basal metabolic rate is how many calories you're burning during the day.
How does it figure that out? Whoa, that's like magic.
It's a thing. There are calculations, and it has to do with your height, it has to do with your weight, it has to do with your age, and it has to do with your gender. There's like calculations that you can do online if you Google.
So I thought my basal metabolic rate was very high because I'm an extremely nervous person.
I mean, that might be true.
Like
you may be burning more calories.
Yeah.
It is an estimation in that sense. And then visceral fat is like a really interesting thing that we don't see a whole lot of people talking about, and it's a big indicator of things like, I think, diabetes and cardio health is it's basically, we have fat, and there's two types. There's subcutaneous fat, and then there's visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat between your organs.
So subcutaneous fat is the fat that makes you squishy.
Yes.
And visceral fat is the fat that makes your kidneys not jiggle around.
Well, visceral fat, you need a certain amount to do that, but if you have too much visceral fat, it's really bad for your health.
Okay.
And so that's what they mean by skinny fat sometimes, where someone is really skinny, but they have a high amount of visceral fat, and it's actually quite bad for your health. So just because you look skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. And then it also gives you your lean body mass, your body fat mass, your bone mass, and your muscle mass.
So that is a lot of cool data.
So you can get a lot of cool data, and you can kind of understand how much of your body is fat and how much of your body is actually lean, like muscle, bone, that sort of thing. This is great if you're just trying to like learn about yourself, but also if you're trying to build muscle tone. And you can see what's actually helping.
I was going to say this is especially encouraging because I have friends who have, you know, they have pursued exercise programs, and they're always frustrated when the exercise programs lead them to gain weight. And, you know, to be able to see that, oh, I'm gaining weight, but it's muscle, is a really nice positive signal that you don't get from just a dumb scale that gives you a number.
Yeah, and like weight is relative, body positivity, all these nice like words that we have. But yeah, it's really good to have context into what your actual weight is. Like, oh, like mine says I have too much fat. But the thing that I like about this particular app is that it gives you a benchmark and a goal to see what like what you should be aiming for, as opposed to being like, oh, I have too much fat, I want to get rid of the fat, but how do I do that? What am I aiming for? This actually kind of has a nice graph that tells you where you should be aiming.
Oh, okay. And do you need to build that over time?
So the nice thing is that you can look at your history. So you can look at your history, which we have one false measurement.
Right.
That's one thing I didn't like about this particular thing.
Can you not delete the false?
You can't delete the false things. Like, you can't delete the false things. It is quite good at differentiating between family members, which I found to be impressive, because my roommate and I, even though he's a dude, we're of similar height and similar weights. So I was able to tell if it was him versus if it was me. But you can like just look through your history when it measured the thing. You can look and you don't have to necessarily sync with it right away. It stores 120 measurements at a time, and then when you're in range with the app, it'll just update everyone at once.
So now let's say I've got, let's say I'm getting the scale, but I also have a different quantifier from a different manufacturer. Let's say I also have the Nokia Sleep, which I'm playing with right now. Is there any way to take the measurements produced by these different manufacturer devices and see them or work with them in one place?
So that's like really hard. It's not fully there yet. I believe this one integrates with Fitbit. So when I step on it, it integrates with my Fitbit, and I don't have to worry. I can just track my weight through the Fitbit app, which is really nice. It really depends app to app to app. It doesn't have the most integrations. There are a couple of scales that have way more, but it's like this one has a couple.
And what's the battery life like?
The battery life, so this runs on 4AA or AAA
so that's nice.
batteries.
Nice, inexpensive.
So It runs on these batteries. This should, according to the manufacturer, which is Eufy/Anchor, last you about a year, which is nice and easy and cheap.
I was going to say, if anyone knows batteries, they probably do.
They probably do know that.
Eufy is made by the same company as Anchor, which is basically the top provider of extra batteries for cell phones and tablets and stuff like that. So they're into batteries. Let's take some questions.
So you now go and you weigh yourself and you get all this information about your body. Is there maybe another app or something that pairs with it that helps you target maybe certain areas that you want to work on?
Is there an app that could help design exercise or lifestyle programs based on the data that has been quantified?
So I think that's where fitness tech is moving toward in a software sense, because really context is the thing that we hear a lot when we go to these events, where they're just like, yeah, so we're trying to work on software that'll personalize workouts to you. And the quick answer is there a one-stop shop that you can go? No.
Okay, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Different apps like Fitbit, like I just went to this Peloton workout, like they're all working with each other, working with integrations, but you kind of just have to but you have to kind of pick. Like if I mostly have had Fitbit wearables, that's where my data has been the longest, so when I'm not testing, I tend to stay on that platform just because that's what I've had for the longest amount of time. It has a lot of integrations with different products, including this one. So I can keep all my data in one spot. That works for me. Different products will work with different things, like Polar has their own line, they have their own scale. Garmin has their own line, they have their own scale, they all work together with a thing. So you kind of have to put some elbow grease into thinking about which user interface works for you now, but I do think in the future, we might see a lot more personalized things based on your data.
Okay.
But for now, you kind of have to just go like, what does it all mean?
Any more questions out there? Okay, great. So this is the Eufy BodySense Smart Scale, and you are giving it an editor's choice over, for instance, you really like that Nokia We Things scale before, right?
That one was all right. So the
Okay.
Withings scale was at that time one of the cheaper ones we had tested. It was I think around $60, but it was only going to measure your weight and your BMI. This measures a whole lot more for about $20 less. There are some things that I wasn't a huge fan of, like you're going to have to be okay with the fact that your nosy family members can kind of view your data. That's a thing that scales haven't necessarily perfected yet. Like,
everybody with the app is going to know how much everybody in the family weighs.
Yeah, I can tell you how much my roommate and my best friend weigh. I'm not going to because I'm a good friend, but I have it on my phone.
And now they're going to be able to tell how much Sasha weighs.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to tell. So that's one thing.
I think now everybody on YouTube is able to tell how much I weigh, so there you go.
Yeah, so it's just like, that's a thing about this, but the cost and what you're getting, and if you're okay with that, this is just a really great product. I mean, it looks great. It doesn't look like it only costs $40.
Yep.
It's really sleek and nice in terms of design. One thing that we will note is that smart scales like this, they work through an electrical signal. So if you have an implanted medical device or if you're pregnant, this may not be for you.
Okay.
There is that thing. Some like the Cardio Base 2, which is a much higher end model. I believe we had it on the show like a while back, but those have different modes so that it'll disable the electrical signal if you're pregnant or if you are
have a pacemaker.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So yeah, the full review of the Eufy BodySense Smart Scale Editor's Choice $40 Smart Scale is up on PCMag.com right now. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing. If you are watching us live on Facebook, then please return at 10 a.m. Eastern each morning. We will have One Cool Things all this week. Different kinds of products, different cool products. If you are watching us on YouTube, then please like and subscribe. Check back every day on PC Mag's page, and we'll have another One Cool Thing for you.